Hello, everyone. Welcome to Say It.
Hey everyone, so happy you are here with us today. I am Mike.
And I am Sarah. So happy you are joining us today.
Sarah, something happened at work this week that I have not been able to stop thinking about.
What happened?
I was reviewing some writing from a new colleague. Her English is actually very good, but two sentences stopped me completely.
What did they say?
The first one, she has seen him yesterday.
She has seen him yesterday.
And the second, I never tried sushi.
Both of those sound completely natural.
They do, and both of them are wrong.
And that is exactly the problem with this topic. Past simple and present perfect. Two tenses, both about the past. And the mistakes feel completely natural, which is exactly why almost everyone is making them.
By the end of this episode, you will understand both tenses properly, know exactly when to use each one, and never make these mistakes again.
But before we start, please like and subscribe to Say It. Every new like and subscriber motivates us to prepare more episodes for you.
Now, let's get into it.
Two sentences, both about the past, both sounding perfectly natural, and both wrong.
And the reason they feel so natural is that both tenses, past simple and present perfect, are about the past. So learners use them interchangeably, and that is where everything goes wrong.
Because they are not interchangeable. They do the same job, talking about the past, but they stand in completely different places when they do it.
What do you mean, different places?
Think about it this way. Past simple stands in the past. It looks at a closed, finished moment. The action happened, it is over, it belongs to another time.
And present perfect?
Present perfect stands in the present. It looks back at the past and sees something that still matters now, something that is still connected to this moment.
Connected to now, present perfect. Disconnected from now, past simple.
Exactly. And one illustration makes this clearer than anything else. She lived in London. What does that tell you about right now?
That she does not live there anymore. It is finished. She is moved on.
Right. Past simple, closed, disconnected from now. Now, she has lived in London.
That feels different.
Completely different. She still lives there now. Or London is part of her life, part of who she is today. The past connects directly to the present.
Same words, different tense, different fact about right now.
And that is the whole distinction. Now, one more illustration. I had 3 coffees yesterday.
Past simple. Yesterday is finished. 3 is the final count. Nothing changes that.
And I have had 3 coffees today.
Today is not over. More are possible. The number might still change. So the question to ask is, are we still inside the time period we are talking about?
That one question unlocks almost everything in this topic. Still inside, present perfect. Time period closed, past simple.
Past simple, the tense of the closed past. Present perfect, the tense of the past that still touches now.
That is the whole distinction, and everything we cover today flows from that one idea.
So let us start with past simple and let us give it the full attention it deserves.
Because most learners think they know past simple already, and in many ways they do. But understanding it clearly, really clearly, is what makes the contrast with present perfect click into place.
So what is past simple actually doing?
It is describing a completed action or state. Finished. Over. The action happened at a specific moment in the past, and it belongs entirely to that moment. Nothing about it reaches forward to now.
I visited Paris last year.
Completed. The trip is over. Last year is a closed time period. Past simple.
She called me yesterday.
Finished. Yesterday is gone. Past simple.
We met in 2019.
Specific year. Closed. Past simple every time.
And past simple is also the tense for telling stories, for narrating a sequence of events. She woke up, had breakfast, got dressed, and left the house.
4 completed actions, in order, past simple throughout. That is how stories move in English.
And for past habits or states that are now finished?
Always past simple. I lived in Paris for 3 years, meaning I do not live there anymore. That time is closed. He played football every weekend when he was young. He does not anymore. Finished habit. Past simple.
Now, how is past simple formed?
Regular verbs add ed. Walk becomes walked. Finish becomes finished. Talk becomes talked.
And irregular verbs, they change form completely. Go becomes went, see becomes saw, eat becomes ate. We will look at these in much more detail later in the episode.
For the negative, didn't plus the base form of the verb.
She didn't go to the party. He didn't call.
And for questions, did plus the subject plus the base form.
Did you call? When did she arrive?
And one critical error that comes up constantly with questions.
Which one?
The base form must always follow did. Always.
Did you went? Wrong.
Did you go? Right.
Did she called? Wrong.
Did she call? Right. After did, always the base form, never the past form.
And the signal words, the words that almost always mean past simple.
These are the ones that force past simple every single time. Yesterday, last night, last week, last year, ago, in plus a year, in 2019, in 2015, when I was a child, at plus a specific time at 6 o'clock, at noon, from 1 year to another, from 2010 to 2015.
Any one of those in the sentence, past simple, no exceptions.
None. The moment you see yesterday or last year or 2 hours ago, past simple. Every time, without question.
Past simple, completed actions, sequences of events, finished states and habits, and any sentence with a specific closed time expression.
That is past simple, completely. And now, the tense that lives in a completely different relationship with time.
Present perfect, and this one is where most learners struggle. And what is it doing?
It is connecting the past to the present. Something happened in the past, but it still matters right now in some way. The result is here. The experience is part of who you are. The state is still true. The time period is still open. That connection to now is everything.
How is it formed?
Subject plus have or has plus the past participle, the third form of the verb. For I, you, we, they have. I have visited. They have gone. For he, she, it has. She has called. He has eaten.
Negative, haven't or hasn't, plus the past participle. I haven't seen that film. She hasn't called.
Question, have or has, plus the subject, plus the past participle. Have you ever been to Japan? Has she finished?
Now the 4 uses, and every single one connects back to now in some way.
The first use, life experiences. Things that happened at an unspecified time in someone's life. The when does not matter. The experience itself matters because it is part of who the person is today.
I have been to Japan.
At some point in my life, I do not say when. The experience exists. It is part of me. My life is still going, so the experience is still relevant.
She has never eaten sushi. Have you ever met a famous person? They have visited Paris 3 times.
All life experiences, all present perfect. The time is unspecified and unimportant. The experience is what matters.
The second use, recent events with a result that is still visible right now.
Something happened recently, and the result is still true at this moment. The focus is not on when it happened. The focus is on the current situation.
I have lost my keys.
I do not have them now. The result, the lost keys, exists right now. Present perfect.
He has broken his arm. She has eaten all the cake. I have just finished.
His arm is broken now. No cake left now. I am finished now. Every result is present. Every consequence is current.
The third use, actions inside a time period that has not ended yet.
The time period is still open. Today is not over. This week is not over. More is still possible. We are still inside it.
I have seen John today.
Today is still going. The day is open. Present perfect.
She has drunk 3 cups of coffee this morning.
I have been very busy this week.
He has called me twice this month.
This morning, this week, this month, all still open, all present perfect. The key words today, this morning, this week, this month, this year, so far, lately.
And the fourth use, situations that started in the past and are still true right now.
States that began at some point in the past but have not ended. They are still real, still happening, always with for or since.
She has lived in London for 5 years.
She still lives there. The state is ongoing, present perfect.
I have worked here since 2018.
They have been married for 25 years.
I still work here. They are still married. Both states ongoing, both present perfect.
And the contrast that locks all of this in place.
She has lived in London for 5 years. She lives there now. She lived in London for 5 years. She does not live there now.
One word changes the entire fact.
Has lived, still there. Lived, gone.
That is the whole difference. 4 uses. One idea underneath all of them. The past connects to the present in some way, through the experience, through the result, through the open time period, or through the ongoing state. It still touches now.
And the moment that connection disappears, the moment the past becomes closed and finished,
Past simple takes over.
so now we have both tenses, both understood, and the question every learner asks next is, how do I choose? 2 questions, that is all you need. First question, is there a specific finished time in this sentence? Yesterday, last week, last year, 2 hours ago, in 2019, at 6 o'clock.
If yes, past simple, always, no exceptions, anywhere in English.
Second question, is the action connected to now in some way, through the result, through the experience, through an open time period, through an ongoing state?
If yes, present perfect. The connection to now is what matters.
And if the answer to both is no, if the action simply happened and has no specific time and no connection to now,
Past simple, a completed action in the past disconnected.
now, the first sentence from our colleague's writing.
She has seen him yesterday.
First question, is there a specific finished time?
Yesterday. Yes. Specific, finished, closed.
Answer, past simple, always.
She saw him yesterday. That is the only correct version. Present perfect cannot be used here. Not in British English, not in American English, not anywhere. And the rule is absolute. No specific past time ever goes with present perfect.
I have seen him yesterday. Wrong. I saw him yesterday. Right.
She has called last night. Wrong. She called last night. Right.
We have met in 2019. Wrong. We met in 2019. Right.
And one special case worth knowing, the word ago.
Ago always specifies a finished point in time. Always past simple.
I have seen him 2 hours ago. Wrong. I saw him 2 hours ago. Right. Ago and present perfect never together. Ever.
Now, one more thing that makes choosing easier. Looking at both tenses side by side.
Same situation, 2 different tenses, 2 different meanings.
I lost my keys.
Past simple. The keys were lost at some point. Maybe I found them. Maybe I didn't. The sentence doesn't tell us anything about now.
I have lost my keys.
Present perfect. The result is here right now. I don't have my keys at this moment. The situation is current.
She left.
Past simple. She left at some point. We don't know when. No connection to now specified.
She has just left.
Present perfect. She left moments ago. The result, her absence, is right here, right now.
I lived here for 5 years.
Past simple. I don't live here anymore. Finished. Closed.
I have lived here for 5 years.
Present perfect. I still live here now. The state is ongoing.
That is the choice. And once you feel it, once you understand that the difference is always about the connection to now, the right tense starts coming naturally.
And certain words make that choice even easier because they are signals. The moment they appear in a sentence, they tell you exactly which tense belongs.
Starting with the second sentence from our colleague's writing.
I never tried sushi.
Apply the two questions. Is there a specific finished time?
No. No yesterday. No last year. No ago.
Is the action connected to now?
Well, never means not at any point in my life so far, and my life is still going.
Exactly. Never is a life experience word. It reaches across the whole of someone's ongoing life, and an ongoing life is an open time period. So,
Present perfect.
I have never tried sushi. That is the only correct version.
I never tried sushi. Wrong. I have never tried sushi. Right.
And the same with ever. Ever asks about life experience, the whole of someone's life up to this moment. Always present perfect.
Have you ever eaten Ethiopian food? Life experience question. Present perfect.
Have you ever felt this way before?
Whole of your life up to now. Present perfect. She has never met anyone famous. I have never been to Australia.
Never. Not at any point in an ongoing life. Present perfect. Always, without exception.
Now, 3 more signal words, and these 3 come up in almost every adult conversation.
Just, already, yet.
Just means very recently. The action happened moments ago. The result is right here, right now.
I have just arrived. I am still in the taxi.
She has just called. Can you ring her back?
The result, my arrival, her call, is present, right now, present perfect.
Already means sooner than expected, a surprise that something happened before the expected time.
She has already left. I expected her to still be here.
I have already read that book. Have you already eaten?
All of them, sooner than expected. The result is present, present perfect.
And yet, expected but not happened, used in negatives and questions.
I haven't called her yet. I need to do it, but I haven't done it.
Have you eaten yet? He hasn't finished yet.
Yet signals something is expected, something is pending, the situation is open and unresolved. Present perfect.
And one thing worth knowing, American English sometimes uses past simple with just, already, and yet. I just ate. She already left. Did you eat yet?
Both are correct, but present perfect always works in any variety of English. When in doubt, present perfect is always the safe choice.
So the signal words, never and ever, life experience, present perfect.
Just, moments ago, present perfect.
Already, sooner than expected, present perfect.
Yet, expected but not done, present perfect.
The moment any of these words appear, the tense is decided for you.
And there are more signal words coming, the ones that work with duration and starting points. But first, let us talk about 2 verbs that behave in a very specific way with these tenses.
The signal words for duration and starting points, for and since.
For answers the question, how long, a length of time, a duration.
I have worked here for 3 years.
3 years, a duration, how long I have been working here, and I still work here now, present perfect.
She has lived in London for 5 years. They have been married for 25 years.
For 5 years, for 25 years, both durations, both ongoing states, both present perfect.
And since answers a different question. From when? A specific starting point, the moment something began.
I have worked here since 2021.
2021, the starting point, the moment I began, and I still work here now, present perfect.
She has lived here since she was a child. I haven't seen him since last Christmas.
Since a moment in the past, continuing until now, present perfect.
And the contrast that makes the difference clear.
I worked there for 3 years.
Past simple. I do not work there anymore. That time is closed. Finished.
I have worked there for 3 years.
Present perfect. I still work there now. The state is ongoing.
One word difference, completely different fact.
For, how long? Since, from when? Both always present perfect when the state is still true now.
Now, the 2 verbs you mentioned, the ones that behave differently.
Not just 2 verbs, a whole family of them, and they have a name, stative verbs.
What makes them different?
Most verbs describe actions, things you do, walk, eat, call, write. These have a beginning and an end, but some verbs describe states, things you feel, think, own, or believe, things that just exist without a clear beginning or end.
Like what?
Know, love, like, hate, want, need, understand, remember, own, believe. These are stative verbs. They describe conditions, not actions.
And why does that matter for these 2 tenses?
Because when stative verbs appear with for or since, they always use the simple present perfect form, never the continuous form.
I have known her for 5 years.
Known, stative verb, simple present perfect, correct.
I have been knowing her for 5 years.
Wrong. Stative verbs cannot be continuous. The ing form does not work with them.
She has loved this city since she arrived.
Loved, stative verb, simple present perfect, correct.
She has been loving this city since she arrived.
Wrong. Love describes a state, not an action in progress. It cannot be continuous.
I have wanted to visit Japan for years.
Wanted, stative verb, simple present perfect, correct. Never, I have been wanting.
So the test is, does this verb describe a state, something I feel, believe, or own?
Yes, simple present perfect, always. If the verb describes an action, the continuous form is possible. If it describes a state, simple form only.
For, how long, since, from when. Both present perfect for ongoing states, and stative verbs know, love, want, believe, always simple present perfect, never continuous.
And now 2 specific uses of present perfect that almost every learner gets wrong. But once you know them, you will never confuse them again.
Which 2 uses?
Have been to and have gone to.
They sound almost identical.
They sound almost identical, but they mean completely different things. And using the wrong one gives the listener completely wrong information.
Show me.
Tom has been to Japan.
Okay.
What does that tell you about Tom right now?
That he is here. He visited Japan at some point and he came back.
Exactly. Have been to means visited and returned. The person is here now. The trip is complete. The experience is part of their life.
And have gone to.
Tom has gone to Japan.
Tom is in Japan right now. He has not come back yet.
Exactly. Have gone to means went and is still there. The person is not here. They are at the destination right now.
So A, where is Sarah? B, she has gone to the shops.
She is at the shops right now. She has not returned.
And she has been to the shops.
She went and came back. She is here now.
Same 2 words, been and gone. Completely different information about where the person is right now.
One question unlocks it every time. Is the person still there?
Yes, have gone to.
No, have been to.
That is the whole distinction.
Now, one more present perfect pattern, and this one is one of the most naturally beautiful structures in English. Learners almost never produce it, but once they know it, they use it constantly.
Which pattern?
The superlative plus ever. This is the best meal I have ever had.
That is a sentence I want to say every day.
Most people do, and the grammar behind it is elegant. The superlative, the best, the worst, the most amazing, reaches across the whole of the speaker's life experience up to now, all the meals they have ever eaten, all the films they have ever seen, all the people they have ever met.
And a whole life of experience up to now is an open time period.
Exactly. Open time period, present perfect. And ever makes that explicit. It says, in the whole of your life up to this moment.
He is the nicest person I have ever met.
Every person you have ever met in your whole life, and he is the nicest.
That is the worst film I have ever seen.
Every film you have ever seen, he wins the worst.
It is the most beautiful place I have ever visited.
Present perfect, every time. The superlative reaches across a whole life, and ever signals that explicitly.
And there's another way to express the same idea.
Yes, 2 ways, same meaning.
This is the best coffee I have ever drunk.
I have never drunk a better coffee.
Same feeling, same grammar, different construction.
Once you know this pattern, it starts coming out naturally every time you want to express an extreme, and it always sounds completely natural.
Have been to, visited and returned, have gone to, still there, and the superlative plus ever, present perfect across the whole of your life experience. Instantly usable, every single day.
And there is one more pattern that pulls both tenses together in a way that nothing else does. A pattern that is everywhere in natural spoken English, and one that almost nobody teaches explicitly.
Which one?
The way that 2 tenses work together in conversation. Present perfect opens, past simple follows.
Show me what that looks like.
Present perfect is the headline. It introduces a topic or experience without giving any specific details. It says, I have something to tell you.
And past simple?
Past simple is the story. It fills in every specific detail. When it happened, how long it lasted, what exactly occurred. So they work in sequence. Present perfect first, past simple second.
Always in that order. Listen to how this sounds in a real conversation. I have been to Japan.
Oh, really? When did you go?
I went in 2019.
How long did you stay?
I stayed for 2 weeks. It was incredible.
Did you see Mount Fuji?
I did. I went there on the 2nd day.
Present perfect opened the conversation. I have been to Japan. And every single detail that followed, went, stayed, saw, went, all past simple.
Because the details have specific times, specific moments, closed.
Exactly. And this pattern works everywhere.
Have you heard? She has had her baby.
Really? When did it happen?
She had the baby yesterday morning. It was a little girl.
Present perfect announced the news. Past simple gave every detail.
And you see this in news reports as well.
All the time. Scientists have discovered a new species of fish. That is the headline. Present perfect, the announcement.
Researchers found the fish last week in the Pacific Ocean. They announced the discovery on Tuesday.
Past simple, the full story, the specific times, the closed moments.
Present perfect says, I have something to tell you. Past simple says, here are all the details.
Always in that order. And once you notice this pattern, you will hear it everywhere. In conversations, in news, in podcasts, in films.
Now, the irregular verbs, because producing present perfect correctly depends on knowing them.
Most English verbs are regular. They form both the past simple and the past participle by adding ed. Walk becomes walked, becomes walked. Finish becomes finished, becomes finished. Same form for both tenses. No confusion.
But irregular verbs change their form completely, and for most of them, the past simple and the past participle are completely different words.
3 columns, 3 forms. Base form, past simple, past participle. The table is on your screen right now. Pause and study it. These are the most important forms for this topic.
Go, went, gone. See, saw, seen. Eat, ate, eaten.
In past simple, the second form, she went to Paris last year. I saw him yesterday.
In present perfect, have or has plus the third form. She has gone to Paris. I have seen him.
The rule is simple and absolute. After have or has, always the third form, never the second.
And the most common production errors.
I have went, wrong. I have gone, right.
I have saw that film, wrong. I have seen that film. Right.
She has ate already. Wrong. She has eaten already. Right.
He has drunk all the milk. Wrong. He has drunk all the milk. Right.
And the reverse error, the third form used without have or has.
I seen him yesterday. Wrong. I saw him yesterday. Right.
She done her work. Wrong. She did her work. Right.
After have or has, always the third form. Without have or has, the second form for past simple. They never swap.
Learn the table on screen and these errors disappear. The pattern is consistent. The rule never changes.
Present perfect introduces. Past simple fills in the details. And after have or has, always the third form. The table on screen is your guide.
Now, the mistakes. The exact sentences that go wrong most often. And these are 4 that come up every single day. In writing, in conversation, in messages, in emails. All genuinely confusing. All genuinely common.
First one?
I am living here since 2019.
That sounds very natural, actually.
It does. And that is exactly why it is so widespread. Learners reach for present continuous because the situation is ongoing. It is happening right now. And present continuous is the tense for things happening right now. So the instinct feels right.
But the instinct is wrong. Present continuous describes what is happening at this exact moment. I am eating. I am working. Right now. In progress, but it cannot express a situation that started in the past and has continued until now. That is a different job, and present perfect is the only tense that can do it.
I have lived here since 2019. That is the only correct version. The state began in the past. It continues until now. Present perfect with since.
And the same error appears with for. She is working here for 3 years. Wrong. She has worked here for 3 years. Right. I am knowing her since childhood. Wrong. I have known her since childhood. Right.
Present continuous cannot reach back into the past. Present perfect can. That is the difference. Mistake number 2.
She finished already.
What is missing?
The auxiliary. Has. She has already finished.
Without have or has, there is no present perfect. The auxiliary is not optional. It is not decorative. It is the tense. Without it, the sentence either becomes past simple or it simply does not work.
She finished, past simple. She finished already sounds like past simple with already in the wrong place. She has already finished, present perfect. Correct.
And the same error in different forms. I been to Japan. Wrong. I have been to Japan. Right. He gone home. Wrong. He has gone home. Right. The auxiliary must always be there.
Mistake number 3.
I have saw that film.
Wrong past participle. Saw is the second form, past simple. Seen is the third form, past participle. After have, always the third form.
I have seen that film. Right. And it is the same pattern across all irregular verbs. I have went. Wrong. I have gone. Right. She has ate. Wrong. She has eaten. Right. He has drank. Wrong. He has drunk. Right.
The table on screen has every form. Second form for past simple, third form after have or has. They never swap.
And mistake number 4. This one confuses learners for years.
Which one?
For and since swapped.
I have lived here since 5 years.
Since needs a specific moment in time, a starting point. 5 years is not a moment, it is a duration, so since cannot work here.
I have lived here for 5 years, right. For answers how long.
And the other direction. I have worked here for 2019.
2019 is a specific point in time, a starting point, not a duration. So for cannot work there.
I have worked here since 2019. Right. Since answers from when.
For how long, since from when. The 2 questions tell you which word belongs.
She has been married since 25 years. Wrong. She has been married for 25 years. Right. 25 years is a duration. How long? So for.
I haven't seen him for last Christmas. Wrong. I haven't seen him since last Christmas. Right. Last Christmas is a starting point. From when, so since.
4 mistakes, 4 fixes, and every single one comes back to the same 2 questions. Is there a specific finish time? Is the action connected to now?
Those 2 questions, every time. That is all you need.
And now, let us hear both tenses working together in a real conversation. No grammar commentary, just 2 people talking.
Roleplay time.
The scenario? 2 colleagues catching up after one of them returns from a long work trip abroad. They have not seen each other in several weeks.
Let's go.
Welcome back. How have you been?
Exhausted, honestly, but it was an incredible trip.
Where did you go this time?
Singapore. I have never been there before, and I have to say, it is the most impressive city I have ever visited.
Really? How long did you stay?
2 weeks. I arrived on the 5th and came back yesterday.
And how did the meetings go?
Really well, actually. We have just signed a new partnership agreement. The whole team is very excited.
That is fantastic news. Has David heard yet?
I have already told him. I called him from the airport last night.
Of course you did. And how is the Singapore office? Have you been there before?
No, it was my first time, but Mark has gone there twice this year, so he knew the city well.
Oh, has he gone again? I thought he was back.
No, he went last month and came back 2 weeks ago. He's been to Singapore 3 times now. He loves it there.
I have always wanted to go. I studied the culture when I was at university, but I have never actually visited.
You would love it. I have never eaten food like that in my life.
Now I really want to go.
We should plan a trip. It's been 2 years since we last traveled together.
It has. We went to Berlin in 2023. That was an incredible trip.
It was, though I think Singapore has beaten it. Best work trip I have ever taken.
High praise.
Let us pause there.
Did you notice how naturally both tenses moved in and out of that conversation?
Let us pick out a few moments. You said, how have you been?
Present perfect, a greeting for an unfinished period, from the last time we saw each other until now. The period between our meetings is open. Present perfect.
And I have never been there before.
Life experience. Never, not at any point in my ongoing life. Present perfect.
And I arrived on the 5th and came back yesterday.
Past simple. 2 specific completed actions. Arrived, specific moment, came back, yesterday. Closed times. Past simple both times.
And we have just signed a new partnership agreement.
Just, very recently. The result, the signed agreement, is present right now. Present perfect.
And it has been 2 years since we last traveled together.
For and since. The duration from our last trip until now, still ongoing. Present perfect with since.
And the moment I asked, when did you go? And you answered, I went in 2019. That was the conversation switchover.
Present perfect opened it. I have never been there before. Past simple filled in the details. I arrived, I came back, I went. Always in that order.
And in that whole conversation, did it feel like grammar?
Not at all. It felt like 2 colleagues catching up after a trip.
Because that is exactly what it was. Once both tenses become natural, you stop choosing consciously. You just reach for the right one.
Closed past, past simple. Connected to now, present perfect. Every single time.
And that is exactly what today was about. 2 tenses, both about the past. One closed, one connected.
So let us lock it all in. Fast.
Past simple, completed, finished, disconnected from now. Completed actions, sequences of events, past states and habits that are no longer true.
Present perfect. Past action with a connection to now. Life experiences, recent results, unfinished time periods, ongoing states.
Specific past time in the sentence, yesterday, last year, ago, in 2019, always past simple, no exceptions, anywhere in English.
Never plus life experience, always present perfect. I never tried, wrong. I have never tried, right.
Just, already, yet, present perfect. For and since, present perfect for ongoing states, still true now.
Stative verbs, know, love, want, believe, always simple present perfect, never the continuous form.
Have been to, visited and returned. Have gone to, still there. One question, is the person still there? That is all you need.
And after have or has, always the third form of the verb, never the second. The table on screen is your guide.
The conversation switchover, present perfect introduces the topic, past simple fills in every detail that follows.
2 questions solve everything. Is there a specific finished time? Past simple. Is the action connected to now? Present perfect.
Now, your challenge.
Tell us in the comments, have you ever been to an English-speaking country? If yes, when did you go and how long did you stay? Use both tenses in your answer.
I have been to London. I went in 2018 and stayed for 10 days. That is the pattern. Present perfect first, past simple for the details.
We read every single comment, so write yours and let us see both tenses working together.
And if this episode helped you, please share it with one person who is learning English right now. One share makes a real difference to this channel.
And subscribe to Say It so you never miss a new episode. Every new subscriber genuinely motivates us to keep making these for you.
We will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.